Please welcome Karen Eastman.
Hey, this is Hein Wagner and greetings from Sweden. As a blind adventurer, people often ask me, Hein, how does a blind skydiver know when he's close to the ground? Well, it's quite simple and easy because you can feel the slack on your guide dog's leash. Then now is a good idea to open up or you're going to die. No, I do not skydive my guide dogs. I just love them too much. I was born blind though. However, that never ever stopped me from living full and adventurous life. I've tackled a few adventures. I've sailed the Cape to Rio yacht race. I've ran a number of city marathons, including Cape Town, Hong Kong, New York, Antarctica as well. I've done full Ironman. I've cycled the toughest, hardest, longest multi-stage mountain bike race on the planet, commonly known as the Tour de France of mountain biking, the APSA Cape Epic. I have jumped out of aeroplanes. On 2 occasions, I broke the world blind land speed record, driving a car at faster than 320 kilometers an hour. I've had a very successful career in IT, and over the last 16 years, I've built a very successful international speaking business, inspiring people the world over.
I was like, am I talking? What happened here? So he can't see, but Hein Wagner has vision. He has no limiting beliefs, right? Can you even imagine not being able to see, jumping out of airplanes, doing Ironman, doing things like the bike race? I have a picture coming up pretty soon that shows you something really extraordinary. I'm excited about that. So what did you think when you heard Hein's story? Anybody? Wow. It's pretty extraordinary. So is this working or not working? Not working, okay. So vision. What is vision? Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom. Proverbs 29:18 says, without vision, the people perish. Well, in business, a business without vision will perish, right? I know people that are passionate about what they do, but they have no vision. To achieve your vision, goal setting is crucial. A goal without action is simply a dream. Can you see that little thing up there? I think I want to be a nuclear scientist when I grow up. So I asked a friend of mine one time, what is it that you want to do? She was about 27 at the time. And she said, I think I want to be an interior designer. And I said, well, what are you doing? Are you taking classes, or are you going to work with somebody, or what? Do you know she never took a class and she never pursued her dream? I wonder, was that really her dream? A lot of times we have what we say are dreams, but again, unless we put them into action, that's where they stay. So do you know anybody like that? Does anybody know somebody that said, oh, I'm going to be this, or I want to do this, or I want to accomplish this, but they never, I think we all do that to a degree, right? We never put those steps in place. I've trained with Les Brown. That's why I got so excited. I was the only person screaming when he said Les Brown. I have trained with Les Brown to speak, and I never did anything with it. Now, not to say that I don't speak, but the things I learned from Les Brown, I still have it in a folder at home that I've never revisited. Crazy. So we all do know somebody. So in this picture, do you think that Hein Wagner just accidentally signed up for the Ironman or the longest bike race? No, he created a goal and he had vision. So in this picture, Hein and his riding partner, Jerry Olivier, negotiate a dry riverbed. Now, this is not a straight platform, right? This is a dry riverbed during stage 3 of the, I forget what that first word is, ABSA. It's called the ABSA Cape Epic. Jerry verbally guided him through the whole 700-meter race. He's blind. Now, how many of us have been held back from doing the things that we want to do because we don't think we can do it? I was secretary for the Nevada Council of the Blind for 5 years. I've got some friends who are less disabled than most of us who are sighted and completely able to do things. I've got a friend who's 70 years old who lives at home in a 2-story condo that cooks on a gas stove. That drives me crazy. I'm afraid in my own house on my gas stove, I'm going to catch my sleeve on fire, right? Or my kids would. But this gentleman cooks on a gas stove, makes food from scratch, and navigates his own house, walks down to the mailbox by himself. And yet those of us who, again, are sighted, hold ourselves back from things, right? So that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to you today about vision and about what vision really, really means. So what's going to separate you from everybody else in your industry? Why will somebody drive 2 miles past 3 businesses just like yours to come to you? Is it your customer service? Is it the experience that they're going to have by working with you? What is it that is going to separate you from everybody else? I mean, if you're a travel agent or insurance person or a real estate person, why would they come to you? There's 20,000 real estate people in Las Vegas alone, at least 20,000. I'm sure there's a more specific number. What's going to cause somebody to call you instead of the other 20,000 people? Very easy to find a real estate person. Just drive around a neighborhood and pick up numbers, right? So have you really thought about what separates you from everybody else? You know, I noticed something in the first 30 days of COVID. It really shocked me too. As we were all sitting at home thinking that COVID would be over in the next 30 days, maybe 60, I thought maybe 60. I realized that I had to do something because I had a pod sitting on my driveway for 7 years. And I thought, okay, I got to do something because when COVID's over, I don't want to have said I did nothing during that whole time. So I got rid of the pod. I actually videotaped it going down the street as if it was a kid going off to college. I interviewed my neighbors. How do you feel now that this pod is off my driveway? But the one thing that I really noticed during COVID is that businesses that had been in business 20, 30, 40, 60 years were closing down permanently. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Why are they closing forever? And I realized that these people, these businesses, were right on the precipice the whole time. It didn't take anything more than a Q-tip to push them off the cliff, right? So what could they have done differently? That changed my whole mindset about my business. What can I do to help small business owners so that they don't fall off that cliff, so that they're prepared for any kind of an economic situation or otherwise? So how about you? Did you have good systems in place that carried you through the pandemic? I think we all learned something over the past couple of years. We have all changed. But what's most important throughout that time is that time is precious. Relationships are precious. I don't know if you noticed, but I've hugged just about everybody in this room. And I feel like nowadays you would think after the time that we couldn't even be in contact with anybody, that we were stuck in our own house, that people would be now grateful and loving and want to hug everybody they possibly could. And yet they're angry and they have a lot of bitterness from things. And so I think it's all of our job to really reach out and show that love and bring that gratitude for the who we love, you know, on a daily basis. Our bodies are precious. Our relationship with God is precious. So we need to think about and write down all of those things that are so precious to us. Our kids are precious. The things that they've gone through are just unbearable because they don't know how to navigate. They don't have the tools that we have to navigate through the things that we've been through. So we need to be the people. I'm going to go off track here for a second. We need to be the people, not that they see yelling at the teacher or being that Karen that I'm not. I'm the antithesis of that Karen. But let's not be Karens. We want our children to see us act humbly and gratefully and lovingly to other people. Whew, Okay, so I got to get off this track because I'm getting emotional. I want to thank you, all the other speakers, for helping us refocus on the important things in our life, from our body to our relationship with God, to the mindsets that we have on our daily lives. Right or right? So why should we have a vision? What's important about a vision? There's a form in your folder. If everybody could grab, oh, it's actually on your chair. It's on your folder. So does everybody have that 2-page sheet? Everybody have that? Okay, so I have created an acronym, as did our lovely, who did the acronym? Somebody did the acronym a little bit ago. It was Marquis, that's what I thought. So I have an acronym too. I want to be like her when I grow up. And my acronym is on vision. So as I talk about this acronym and I tell you the letters, you know the letters. The word is vision, so I think you know the letters. But as we go about this and I tell you the words for the acronym, and you can think of other words that match it, go ahead and write them in the space. But for the first letter of V, value. So when you're envisioning your business, see, I know a lot of people that are passionate about their business, but they don't have vision. So when you have vision, you have to go, what is the value that I'm going to bring to people? What is the value of what I'm doing, of what I'm creating? You have to create the value. Who am I going to serve? Why would someone want my product or service over a similar business down the street, just like we talked about a moment ago? And what value will you bring to your customers to earn their trust and their business? Here's my favorite, I. This is my favorite one because it's imagine. This is the point in your business where your passion comes to life, where your creativity comes to life. You do what you do, whether you make the best aprons, you're a great mechanic, you're a great numbers person, so you're an accountant or a tax person, whatever that is that you're passionate about. I want you to imagine where you see your business in the next year, 5 years, 10 years. And I want you to write it down because there's something about writing it on a piece of paper that solidifies it and it makes it come to life. Like having a vision board. Has anybody ever done a vision board? Raise your hand if you've done a vision board. And if you haven't done a vision board, look at one of these people, go meet up with them, and let's do a vision board together. Because a vision board, when you look at it 5 years down the road, and you haven't looked at it, or you should have it on the wall, actually, so that you can have your eyes on it all the time. When you go back and you look at that, you'll see 5 years later that some of these things have come to life that you didn't even realize. Why? Because you put it down on paper, because you visualized it. And unless you visualize it, it's kind of going to be over there. It's going to be a wish or just something beyond your realization. So imagine where you see your business. And I want you to know what color it is, what it smells like, what it feels like. You know, I had a few years ago, I had my mentor, one of my mentors, did an exercise with me. And they said, if money and time were no object, what would you want? What would you want to do? What would you want? Would you want to buy a boat? Would you want to buy a helicopter? Would you want to travel? Would you want to build a school someplace? And I really had to think about it because I'm not really a money person. I don't think a lot about what I would do with riches, and I don't need a bunch of stuff, although I have white knees that don't say anything. I have stuff, okay? I got a lot of stuff, but not that kind of stuff. Anyway, I had to really think about it. And I thought, I think I'd like to go to Italy for 6 weeks. And my mentor said, now don't forget to fly first class. I never would have thought of that. I'll be honest with you. I was a travel agent for 35 years. My job was to save people money. I never would have thought about flying first class. So that became part of what I was going to do. So then she said to me, when do you want to do this? She said to me, where do you want to stay? What are you going to do while you're there? Are you going to take a class? Are you going to travel around? Are you going to go to different places? What exactly do you want to do? How do you want to feel while you're there? And then how much will it cost? So I was kind of figuring how much it would cost. And she said, when exactly do you want to do this? So I put it in the future of when I want to do it. And then she said, now I want you to take that date that you had, and I want you to back it out to today. How many months is that? Now, you just figured out how much it was going to cost you, right? Maybe $10,000 a person. I'll just say, I'm going to throw a number out. So let's just say back then, 10 years ago, it was $10,000 a person. So take that 20,000, because I thought I might bring my husband, and back it out those number of months. Now divide that by how many months between that. Oh my God, I never thought of that. It was like, it wasn't a dream anymore. And guess where I went? Ooh. Guess where I went in May? And it wasn't just me and my husband. It was my kids. My kids went with us. It was a trip of a lifetime, I will tell you. So those things, again, that are dreams, put them on paper, write them down, back it out, make it happen. Make those things happen, because these are treasures in my life that, I mean, this is incredible, right? Nobody can ever take that away from me. This is treasures I have with my boys and my husband that are just, I'll beat it, I will. But things that so that's imagination. So S is for systems. Every successful business, has multiple systems and strategies in place. So your systems are like a tracking system, an accounting system. You know, you might make great cupcakes, and you do what you do best. So you need to surround yourself with people who do what they do best. I call it having my stable of resources. So you need to have a good accountant. You need to have a good tax person. You need to have a good CPA. You need to have a good legal resource. So networking, which I think most of us do at some level, is creating those relationships where you have those kind of people in your life, so you can really focus on making your cupcakes, right? That's what you want to do. A system will create control. It guides priorities. It creates predictability, right? It generates accountability and a way to measure your success. You don't really have systems until they're written down and can be executed by someone else. How many of you have a business and it's just you? How many of you would like to scale beyond you so that you had employees? And the only reason you'd want an employee, because employees are what? They're headaches. We know that. But having an employee, we're not meant to be prisoners. We're not meant to be prisoners of our own business. We go into business to what? We build a business to build a legacy for our family, right? So if you build systems, you can step away from your business, allow someone to do what you're doing. Oh, I'm the only one that can do that. Then you're going to be a prisoner to your business. And when you break your ankle and you can't do that, you can't go in and make your cupcakes anymore, or for a couple of weeks, then you might be out of business. Because what happens? All of those who've networked know that when somebody doesn't show up for 6 weeks, it's out of sight or out of mind, right? And then somebody else that makes cupcakes just happens to come in your networking group, or sells insurance, or sells homes, or is a mechanic, right? So make sure that when you're imagining your business, imagine your business bigger than you. And I will tell you, one of my favorite things about that is that there is no dream too big, right? Thomas Edison, how many times did he fail? Even Michael Jordan, how many times did he fail? Ben Franklin, Henry Ford. We wouldn't be driving cars if they hadn't stuck with it and said, I know that this is a possibility. So whatever your dream is, whatever it is that you wish for, that you want to move towards, that the purpose of your business, make sure that you write that down and create the systems that will build that to happen for you. Now that we've created value, we've taken our imagination and built that, we've felt it, we can smell it, we know what color it is, we know what that business is going to be. Now we're going to implement it. I is for implement. So now that you've imagined it, you've pictured what your business is going to be like, and you've set up your systems, now it's time to implement. And if you need help with that, that's where I come in. O is for opportunity. So what opportunities are available for you to market your business? Will you collaborate with power partners? That's a smart way to do it. Will you network? Will you do TV or radio ads? Will you go on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever. Does anybody here have some creative ways that they have used to find new clients? Anybody tell me a different way? Nisa? TikTok? I said TikTok. I said new. I'm kidding. Does anybody have any other creative ways? Anybody?
I love the power partner idea. Just to expand on it a little bit, when I had the martial arts business, the power partner idea
Should be working.
still not sounding.
No. Oh, yep, that's right.
Over to the center,
Working.
still not
Oh,
working.
it's muted.
That's all right. I talk about it.
Okay.
The power partner idea is great because I had a martial arts business. I had a bounce house, a dance studio, and a language school for kids that was in the same little circle as my business. We teamed up and created a summer camp and a winter camp for kids. So they came in, spent 2 hours with me, 2 hours in dance, 2 hours at the language school, and then spent the evening or the last 2 hours shooting dart guns.
Nice.
At each other. So power partners can be amazing. If
Absolutely.
you put both together.
Absolutely. Stan, thank you so much. Give Stan a hand. So I hope you're taking notes on these ideas because in business, we know there's no yellow pages anymore, right? So let's not advertise in the yellow pages. Let's find out what's working today. Let's find out what's trending today and let's get your business going. And N, does anybody know what N stands for? When is the best time to do all of this stuff? Now. So I'm passionate about keeping small business owners in business. What can be done to solidify your business in any type of environment? First of all, you must anticipate and know what your plan B is. Now that we've all been through COVID, we know we need a plan B, right? Who knew? Who would ever have imagined when they said that the whole strip? You know, I'm going to tell you a real quick story. I had a friend of mine who has since passed away, unfortunately. And about 5 years ago, about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever, 5 years ago, whatever. She said to me, in a couple of years, the strip is going to close down and all these places are going to go out of business. The strip's going I grew up here. I went to high school here. The strip's going to close down and a lot of these places are going to go out of business. And in my head, I was like, cuckoo, she's nuts. That's never happened. When it happened, that first thing that popped into my head, oh my God, how did she know that? Who would have ever thought that could happen? So we know that there are things bigger than us that could happen that we need to be prepared for. I get excited about seeing small business owners succeed and overcome these kind of obstacles. I get excited to put resources in their hands. I want to see you do what you do best, but still utilize the other factors that not only keep you afloat, but surge you beyond your competitors. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Does that make sense? My wish for you is to see you reach the dream of your perfect business or your perfect life and create a whole new dream that you never ever thought possible. I want you to live a full and adventurous life like Hein Wagner. So close your eyes for just a minute. I want you to envision your business or your life at its perfect point. Do you see yourself doing what you love to do? What kind of support or guidance do you need to get there? Take a second and just imagine that. Let's put a plan in place and get you there. Okay, open your eyes. Raise your hand if you'd like to share your vision. Chickens. I'd like to interview a business owner with the process that I have that helps business owners to recreate their dream, bring it to life. And I'd like to bring up Angelique Daniels, if you wouldn't mind, to come up and sit with me. So please, go Go ahead. Yeah, I can't get that working. Please follow along with the questions on the paper that you have. These are the questions I'm going to be asking her. And I want you to put it into place. As I'm talking to Angelique, I want you to think about your business and answer the questions the same way. If you don't have a pen, I've got some extra pens on my table over there. So you're certainly welcome to get those. Oh, I'm all mic'd up. I don't need a mic. Is it working?
Mic check.
Nice.
It is working.
Okay. So Angelique, my
Everybody.
first question to you is tell me about, and I've known Angelique for about 12 years. She has done some amazing things. I've watched her grow in such amazing ways. She's taught me a lot. I'm so thrilled that she's up here sitting with me. So thank you for that. I want you to tell me a little bit about, and the audience about what your business is and about.
Okay, so my name is Angelique, and thank you so much for inviting me. Such an honor. My name is Angelique. The name of my business is Paint with Angelique. Paint with Angelique. I am an artist, and I specialize in a few different activities. Neuropathic art, which is a type of art therapy that can help with addiction or anxiety or depression. I also help business owners with employee engagement activities to help you with retention. You know, you've hired them, you've trained them, now how do you keep them? And you need to have activities to keep employees engaged. So through my art, I help business owners with that. And the biggest growing segment of my business is the paint and sip, which you're probably familiar with. And that's when an artist takes you through a painting activity and you kind of drink a little wine and you kind of maybe dance a little bit and you get your own masterpiece to take home with you. So again, the name of my business is Paint with Angelique. I've been doing it seriously for about 6 years. I just left my job 6 months ago. Retired after being a restaurant manager for 28 years. So as I sit here today,
Living the dream, baby.
I'm actually living my dream of using my my gift and my passion and talent and helping other people through my art. So that's what I do.
I've taken a couple of her classes. I've taken a couple of her classes, and they're absolutely a blast.
Thank
and
you.
if you haven't met Angelique, come and ask her to see her purse after we're off the stage today, because it's all her art on her purse.
Thank
Tell me
you.
that's not awesome. So Angelique, one of the questions I want to ask you is, if you could wave a realistic magic wand, where do you see your business in the next 6 to 12 months? And just paint the picture of what it would be in its perfect state.
Well, currently I'm in the 5-figure range in terms of sales, and I would really like to be in the 6-figure area.
Okay.
So that's the realistic dream for me. And I'll just take the paint and sip segment of it as far as living the dream of what I would really want it to look like. And I would love to have a beautiful showroom or ballroom or venue on the strip somewhere where people can experience the art activities and have a really good time, and it'd be a really fabulous room, and I'm on a fabulous stage. And I have a live DJ, I have a hype man, which I have those 2 people now, but to have it on a bigger, grander scale in a beautiful environment. I had my own studio in the art district during the pandemic, but I closed it because there was no foot traffic, and I started doing virtual and things like that. So the big dream would be up on the strip in a beautiful showroom. And I don't see why I can't do that.
There's no reason why you can't do that. So let me ask you, if you could have that exactly the way you wanted it, Angelique, what would be the best part about that?
The best part is that I achieved the dream, right? Like, I had a mentor that inspired me. Her name was Miss Annie Lee, and she was a super famous artist. She was my first millionaire friend. Anybody have millionaire friends? I'm sure you do. But she was my first millionaire friend, and she was the first person that I saw use their gifts and talents. She was a fabulous artist and become a millionaire. So she made it real for me. So I want to make it real for other people. So the best part to me would be my kids. I have a son who's 22. He's in the Army. And then I have a daughter that just went off to college at University of Reno. So for me, the best part of it would be able to show people, my friends, my family, my children, that you can really do it. And I'm normal, just like all the great speakers that we've had today. They make it seem relatable. When they tell their stories, they make you feel like you can do it too. They make it real for you. So the best part to me when I get that $1 million status would be sharing my story with how I stayed at a job for 28 years, and I wasn't miserable the whole time, but the last 5 years was pretty hard, you know, and how you can manifest the dream and how you have a vision and you get to it and it's hard and, you know, there's good days and bad days and just making it real, you know.
So why would that be the best part?
Why would that be the best part? Because, I mean, that's what we're all here for, really. You get to the goal, right? And then once you're there, what do? You're supposed to help somebody. You're supposed to look back and pull somebody up and help someone else. You see all these great millionaire people like Tony Robbins and Les Brown and all those great speakers, and they're in the 6 or 7 figure realm, and they all want to help people because it's no fun doing it by yourself. That's what we're here for, to help others, to uplift others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Angelique, that's as much as I'm going to ask you. I have a longer questionnaire that I go through with a business owner, and I'm going to share that a little bit in just a second. But I want to thank you so much for coming up and sharing the time with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, love. So I want to tell you a little story about one of my clients that was a florist. And when I came upon her, she'd been in business for about 6 years. And it was so interesting to me because this poor lady had been through, she was running the business by herself. She had had employees that didn't show up, had shown up stoned or on something, whatever, had crashed one of her vehicles delivering the flowers, had issue with her landlord, had a vendor that didn't show up with the roses on Valentine's Day. Can you imagine? A florist, you're about out of business at that point. And so she was just now, instead of her dream, was to make these beautiful flower arrangements. She'd gone to floral school. She was making these beautiful flower arrangements. And then now she's at the point 6 years later where she's just having to make these things. And she needed 2 more of them to be sold before the end of the month so she could cover her expenses. And so when I start asking these questions, there's a certain point within the questions that I asked Angelique that I become invisible. And that's my very, very favorite part, honestly, because I see the change in a person's face. So when I sit with them and I know that they've been through these things and they're telling me the stories about what their dream is. Now, nobody's asked them where do they see their business in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So they haven't even thought about this in 5 years. They started the business, it was all great, and then it just kind of little incrementally kind of just gets icky, right? So when I ask her that, it kind of makes her think. Well, by the second question, what would be the best part about that? She starts going a little bit deeper. And then as I ask, why would that be the best part? Well, I've had people say, well, I've wanted to have my child have their own bedroom because they're in the room with their 2 siblings and I've always wanted them to have their own room. And so they start going into their heart. And that's what I want to find. I want to get to the heart and I want that dream to come back alive. I want that passion to be brought up to the surface. And so that's one of the things that I'm really good at and that I really love to help business owners with. So that's where I come in. If you're ready to bring that passion back, make a vision, make a map, and let's get that going. So if you feel that you might have lost your passion or you don't have your vision yet or you're not really sure, you just know you're really good at what you do, let's have a conversation. So let's talk about revision. Revision is about being fluid and being able and willing to change direction in your business. So you see yourself in your business and you paint the map. A lot of people get a business plan and they make their business plan so that they can get financing, right? How many people have ever created a business plan? How many people haven't looked at it in the last 2 years? Right. Most of the time they create that business plan. Well, what is a business plan? It's a plan, it's a map for your business. So that is something that's fluid. It's something that needs to be revisited regularly, preferably yearly. And it's not for your financing. It's for you. It's for the health and wealth of your business. So go back into your business plan and say, okay, let's see where we are today from when we originally created this business plan. Where do we want to go? Next year, we might want to go in a whole different direction. Something's come up. We've met somebody. We're going to collaborate with somebody. I brought on a partner. I've moved. I've expanded, whatever it is. So always be willing to be fluid. So when COVID hit, restaurants had to be creative, didn't they? They could only have 50% of the people in their business. So what did they do? They put tents outside, right? And they hired Uber Eats and Grubhub and all of these different things to help them sustain. Those who didn't do that perhaps didn't survive through that. So in order to help small business owners today, I've created different ways that we can work together. So I've created 3 packages for this summit. I put them on the screen. The Create Your Vision package is something, again, that I can sit with you and help you create that plan, that vision of where you want your business to be. Even if you've been in business for quite a while, maybe you need to revisit your vision. Maybe you need to revisit where you want your business to go. The financial fireproofing is one of my favorite things. So again, I'm going to come back to the cliff. They're on the cliff. Really, it didn't take much for them to fall off the cliff. So what I have is a system that I help the business owner to set up so that they have accounts that they incrementally put money into. That's, for example, a tax account. So when you get that $2,500 tax bill, you don't have to go, oh my God, where in the hell am I going to come up with $2,500? You go, oh, it's already here in my tax account. Most businesses will open a business account and that's it. And everything comes and goes out of that. Well, we set up a whole system to do this. I would love to help you set that up. That's our financial fireproofing account. And the Hit the Ground Running package is a collaboration of those 2 accounts. Plus, we do a 3-point profit plan. So we've got 3 different profit plans that we help with so that you can, again, incrementally increase your profits every month. And then 2 additional 1-hour coaching sessions on that. So I am going to give a free strategy session to the first 5 people, free strategy session, to the first 5 people that text me at this number, 249-8555. If you want to just text me and say hi, that's cool too, because that's my personal cell. So while everybody else is getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas, put your sights on 2023. Have your vision ready and make 2023 the year that you put your vision to work and create a world-class business and life. If you like what I've shared so far and you're ready to move, come and see me at my table. You will not be disappointed. The end. Thank you so much.
Karen Eastman, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you.